So I want to just start by saying thank you, and also share that not long ago, Mayor Mendenhall and I were talking about a number of issues, and she was acknowledging your great work, and I was doing the same back. And I'm a Salt Lake City resident and a county mayor, and I know, thank you, Salt Lake City, because you've been out there in my neighborhood doing great work. And from the county perspective, I'm so aware of the work you're doing for not just our contract cities, but others and stepping in. And I'll tell you, this has been quite a year. It's been a rough one. And for every member of the community here in our county, in our state, in our nation, really in our world, this has been a year like no other. At a local level, it's been a challenging year for relatively new mayors, as we have faced so much. And the one thing that has been so incredibly personally meaningful to me is the incredible work of our employees. And I'll tell you, I probably shouldn't say this, but I was joking with one of the lead public works folks who was at our emergency management center one day, and I said, we've come here with like our police officers over civil unrest. We've come to this center, of course, for COVID. We've come for every reason. We came here for the earthquake, right, to manage that emergency. I'm sure this year we could have a public works emergency, and then it happened. And the day of the storm, it took me a little bit to get out into the community and really understand the depth of the damage. I faced it the minute I walked out my front door. Our fence was down, but I thought it was a rickety fence anyway and probably needed some attention. But then I saw neighbors' trees down and power lines down. And I live very close to the avenues and was like really concerned, and of course was out within, I'd say, a half hour into our county, and dialing mayors, calling the command center. They were checking in too as we were surveying the damage, and recognize this as, I think Mayor Mendenhall said it later that day, this is a storm of the century. This is an event that I hope we won't see again in my lifetime. It took me back to the days of the tornado and seeing that kind of path that went up through the avenues from downtown, but it was everywhere. And I knew that day of the strength and abilities of the Salt Lake County Public Works team, the partnership we have with our contact cities. I've known for some time as a city resident how great you guys are too, plowing my snow and taking care of the needs throughout Salt Lake City. So since the storm, we have seen nearly 3,000 people hours to haul more than 8,000 cubic yards of debris, which equates to 700 dump truck loads. And then we have seen at Salt Lake County 30 employees per day operating 20 trucks. And we initially had 27 traffic signals without power, and then also street lights in those areas. We've used multiple generators to keep those traffic signals up and working until the power was restored. And I think that's another key point. We were partnering with power companies and doing our best as we dealt with a lot of challenges in the community around power. So just wanted to touch on those statistics and make sure we acknowledge the people power and the hours that went into this effort. So we had just talked, wanted to say thank you. We recognize the work isn't done. I've seen the trees being cut up in the parks that I know are going to be picked up. And I think today we want neighbors to know we're still at it, county and city, as we look at some of the piles that are still on the side of the streets. You all did a great job with neighbors in the community of pushing things aside to let business continue as it needed to. So thank you for that. So thank you. You're appreciated. You're recognized at Salt Lake County, and I know Salt Lake City as well. Within our senior team leader structure, my deputy mayors, my associate deputy mayors, we've been getting updates on your progress and the work that's been happening throughout the county. And really, I don't know where we would be as a community without incredible public works teams, and not just in days of trees down and challenges in the community, but also, day to day as you do your essential work just to keep our road, streets running and things orderly. So thank you. And with that, Mayor Mendenhall.
In this year that has provided more opportunities than I would have ever guessed we'd have as a city, as a county, as public servants, to do more than we've ever asked to be done. I did not expect a hurricane force storm to rip through our city. But what I've learned through all of these crises and emergencies that we have dealt with is more than ever, our people are where it's at. Our public employees are the best. And it is what makes Salt Lake City great, is you all. These are folks who take care of our streets, they build streets, and they do not normally take care of downed tree debris. This is the various and sundry items that they were not hired anticipating to do. We have about 6 or 7 people on our urban forestry crew, and this is taking hundreds of people, tens of thousands of hours of cleanup efforts. And that's what public servants do. They work dynamically, and they're flexing a muscle of doing things they were never probably anticipating to do in a way that makes us so proud. So on behalf of all of our residents in Salt Lake City, I want to tell you how proud I am of you, how proud we are of you, and how grateful everyone is that you keep at it after the storm has left the news cycles. You are still out here busting your butt, even on Saturdays, to help us clear our roadways and make sure that when the next disaster comes, hopefully it's not an early winter storm that causes a lot of precipitation to accumulate in our gutters. These people are making it so that if that happens, we don't end up in another crisis situation. Thank you for helping keep our city so functional. I want to recognize that there are many cities and partners who've come out to our aid since that September 7th and 8th storm. That includes UDOT, VOAD, of course Salt Lake County, the Price Fire Department, South Jordan City, West Jordan City, Bluffdale City, Provo City, Harriman City, the Utah National Guard, South Jordan Public Works, Payson Fire Department, Spanish Forks Public Works, West Valley City, and Summit County Public Works. Salt Lake City is grateful to every one of you and to all of you public servants who are doing more with 2020 than we could have been humble enough to ask for at the beginning of this year. Thank you. You are true public servants and you make us all so proud. Let's all give them a round of applause.